Hi, how are you? And nice to be with you. We're here to do the tarot for Pluto moving direct in Capricorn, Mercury moving into Scorpio, and cards just went absolutely flying out then. So I just have to make sure I've got them. Okay. All right. Oh, very nice. All right. And oh, and let's see where that takes us. So I've just got the cards. They just went absolutely flying out of the deck. So I think they were in a bit of a hurry. Beautiful. All right. And Mars is moving into Libra, sorry, on the 8th. Okay, so what have we got? Using the good tarot, the first card out, patience, all right? Because remember, Pluto is just moving. When planets start to move, they're going to do this on the 3rd. There's a little bit of tune until they find themselves in the rhythm. And Pluto is one of the furthest out. It's one of the slowest moving planets. So patience is a virtue. Pluto is bringing change. Pluto is Kali or Phoenix rising, so it is death and transformation. So there is change coming, but we're being asked for patience. Now, after this, amazing, we've got the Ace of Fire, the King of Fire, and the Nine of Fire. So basically, we are talking about new beginnings and mastery, and the 9 is a little bit of a wish come true, but patience is a virtue. Okay, so when we're talking about fire, we're talking about the wands. So we're talking about our relationship is the wands. So we're talking about a relationship to the world around us, and that's going to be the biggest change. Now, Pluto is going into Capricorn. That's an earth house. Keep saying earth planet. It's an earth house, so it makes sense that it's going to be a change in how we see ourselves in relation to the world around us and how we see our life. So it's an internal change that's going to shift what's happening outside of us. Okay, I got a call for one more, so let's see if there's anything else that comes up. Ooh, yeah, God, they just okay. Okay, oh, very nice. Okay, very nice. So what we got coming in is we've also got, the first card that came out was the Temptation card. And this has got to do with the change happening with Mercury and with Mars. Right. And I think it's interesting that you got the patience card and then you got the temptation card, because patience comes before temptation. So this is just saying to you, bide your time. You might be tempted to move quite quickly on something, but I really want you to just consider, because one of the things about both Mars and Mercury is that things may not actually be as they appear. So there might be a little bit of a charming duplicity or some passive aggressive. So please take just a little bit of time. If something seems too good to be true, it no doubt that it is. You've also been given the Strength card. I think that sits nicely with temptation and strength. So you're going to have to call on your personal strength to keep your focus and to keep wanting to go ahead. But you've also got the Six of Water, which is the Six of Cups. So that's talking about love. So this is your advice. Don't be tempted. Call on your personal strength and see the love and beauty in the world. And also, what I'm going to say with this card is give yourself a little bit of nurturing and love and beauty. Okay. All right. Just been told to do some clarifiers. So we're going to be using shadow play or shadowscapes, because I just want to have a look, because there is a little bit of something underneath the surface with Pluto. There always is. And also with Mercury and Mars. So in Scorpio, because Scorpio is asking us to probe a little bit and have a good look and not be too caught up with what's on the surface. All right, cards, is there something? Okay. Okay. We got the Chariot came out. Oh, and the World. Okay. And then the messages popped into my head about divine timing. Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay. Oof. Underneath the pack of the Good Tarot, the World card. How beautiful is that? So this is definitely a time of change, and it is, the other thing, this is a fated change that's going to be happening. So we've got the World card. What's fascinating about that is that when I did the cards for Shadowscape, the World card came out. So it's definitely time for a change. What's interesting about that is they've got the Chariot, but I want you to have a good look at the Chariot, and I want you to see the two horses, or the unicorn, sorry, and they're looking up at the person in charge of the Chariot, looking for the direction to take. And you've got two scopes of this, because underneath that you've got the tortoise and the crab, who are notorious for moving slowly underneath. So what I want you to read this about the Chariot is you're going to feel that there's going to be two levels of movement. There's going to be a movement going forward and very fast on the top. There's kind of going to be a little bit of skipping over and going directly. And then underneath that, there's going to be a little bit of something deeper that needs to be worked through. So this is going to be happening at a couple of levels. And the other thing that I have to say, because we've got two lots of the World coming forward, and I think this sits nicely with the Strength, the Temptation, and the Six of Water, is we've got the 3. So it's heartbreak. When we have change, when we have massive change, to make way for that change, often what's triggering that change, or the response that we have to the change, is heartbreak. We feel bereft, we grieve, and all of that is completely natural. Don't gloss over grief. Don't try and push yourself through it. If you find you're getting yourself a little bit too immersed in it, then yes, you need to start looking for the positive. And the way that you do that in the grief situation is to acknowledge your grief, to acknowledge your love for what has been taken from you, and to give it love. And that will help you move through the grief process, but the grief process will take its own time. So while it's wonderful to be having change, it is difficult, and it can be very, very sad to have the change. So just acknowledge if you're going through it and you're finding yourself grieving, just acknowledge the grief. And yeah, that's something I've just had to do recently with the loss of a really good friend. Okay, so there we are. Also underneath this pack, we've got the Empress. And the Empress is Earth's garden, Earth's nurturer. And I think that is really, really fantastic to be looking at the Empress, because this is the Queen of the Queens. She is consummate at what she does, and what she does is nurture. So the environment of that you're currently in is massive change with the world, and it is fate and destiny, and you're being advised to nurture yourself throughout this change. The other thing I just wanted to give you, because I just saw it and it's just unusual to have it pop up, is we've got the 5 of Pentacles upside down. And that's really nice to have, because the 5 of Pentacles is remorse and grief. Having it upside down, you flip that, and it says that this is not a time for remorse and grief. about what could have been. This is a time for us to say thank you to those things that no longer serve their purpose, and for us to be thinking about what is coming in and nurturing ourselves so we can be comfortable with the change. Okay, that's the tarot for the personal change. Take care. It's going to be a bit of a turbulent time, but by the end of the week, we'll see the direction.